Elder John Nicholson was the next speaker. He said he found himself in somewhat embarrassing position, feeling the importance attached to this duty of addressing such a vast assemblage of the people of God. I have greatly enjoyed the teachings imparted during this conference. Many important questions have been brought before our attention, the most prominent, according to my view, consisting of about the following: the educational character of the apparently adverse circumstances that surround the saints, the necessity of more intense and earnest devotion to the interests of the young, the sustaining of the work to which we profess to be devoted in a substantial way, and not only the powers and rights of the priesthood but also some of its limits. I have been for some time deeply impressed with the situation in which we find ourselves, and coincide with the position assumed that we are in the most powerful school that it is possible to institute, the school of experience, without which it is impossible to increase our faith. I feel to lift up my heart in gratitude to God that we have difficulties and obstacles to meet and overcome, for without these there would be no progress. It is plainly laid down in the Doctrine and Covenants that, in order for the saints to know that they are acceptable to God, they must place themselves in a position to show that they are willing to sacrifice all things, even life itself, for their religion. This is a position that lies in the future, and we must be educated up to that point. Some of the noblest instances history affords of self-sacrifice for the cause of God have been cited, especially in the opening discourse of Apostle Lorenzo Snow at this conference. One of these instances is that of the 3 Hebrew children, before whom was placed a remarkable ordeal, to choose one of 2 alternatives. They were in a condition of preparation for the ordeal, and when threatened with the fiery furnace, if they would not bow down to the image, they said, "We do not know, but we may be destroyed. But this we do know, that we will not bow down." They were conversant with the latter fact, if not with the other. It has occurred to me that, notwithstanding the claims we make that we are willing to sacrifice all for the truth's sake, there may be some question as to whether that has been our position in some things. There are in my heart some serious doubts regarding it. We are not yet far enough advanced. There is one thing of which we may be certain, and that is, that the Lord will fulfill his promises. He has said to the saints in a revelation given August 3rd, 1833, "I will try you and prove you herewith, and whoso layeth down his life in my cause, for my name's sake, shall find it again, even life eternal. Therefore be not afraid of your enemies, for I have decreed in my heart, saith the Lord, that I will prove you in all things, whether you will abide in my covenant, even unto death, that you may be found worthy. For if ye abide not in my covenant, ye are not worthy of me." This is one of the glorious promises to the saints, that they shall have the same opportunity as did the 3 Hebrews, when it will be seen who it is that will say, "We don't know, but that we may be crushed beneath the overwhelming weight of oppression that may crowd upon us if we do not surrender our religion. But this we do know, that we will not go back on any of the revelations of Jesus Christ." I expect that day to come, for the Lord has decreed that he will have a tried people in the day of his power. If that day of power is imminent, he must have that people. It will not be merely a few men who are willing to go to prison, or to the death if need be, for the cause of God, not the trial of a few families whose sufferings, especially those of women and children, have been intense beyond computation, but it will be an application to the entire people, for the Lord has declared that he will have a tried people as a whole. The present situation is one to prepare them for what is coming. In my opinion, there are things which God directs and reveals, and others that he simply permits, and will shape the course of events to show the weakness of men in his own omnipotence. As Apostle Snow has said, deliverance will come to us only by the same process as that by which it came to the 3 Hebrews. How much power had man to protect them, or to stay the consuming flame of that furnace? None whatever. After we have used our own wisdom, and shown that it is insufficient, he who sitteth upon the throne will make bare his arm and bring to pass his glorious purposes. In relation to our children, I have had the deepest solicitude. Sometimes I think we take too much credit to ourselves for what we do for them. The educational movement we seek to institute now comes at a late day. Some of our children are repudiating the principles of truth. They have causes for this. Let us inquire what they are, and remove them, and then the evil effects will cease. There is a result in that line which is produced by the most potent cause. the apparently contradictory positions we have taken in some respects. This has eliminated faith in many cases from the hearts of the young. This we know to be a fact. Therefore, let us look it squarely in the face that we may apply the remedy. When I consider this educational movement, I am almost confounded at its magnitude, and the evident inadequacy of the means at hand to prosecute it successfully. We are given to understand there is to be established in each stake at least one academy. This is good. There is, however, a financial question involved, and the brethren who have the direction of the affairs say they propose to support these institutions. We have an excellent school of that kind in Salt Lake Stake, with capable teachers in the departments of secular and religious knowledge, so that young people who attend may graduate not only as ripe scholars, but also true-hearted and intelligent Latter-day Saints. But what is the status of this school in the community? It has been necessary to charge a comparatively high rate for tuition, a fact which virtually puts the sign over the door, "The poor cannot enter here." We have before us the historical lessons of the Book of Mormon, and they should have great weight with us. We read there that a reason why the displeasure of the Lord was brought upon the ancient people of this continent was that there was class distinctions among them. One of these was the distinction created by wealth, when men who had not sufficient love of the gospel, as is the case in some instances today, lifted their heads above their fellows in haughtiness and pride because of their riches. Another distinction, and one against which the prophets proclaimed, was that produced by the superior facilities afforded for the more wealthy to educate their children. This is a more dangerous distinction than the first, for it affects the internal intelligence of God's children. We must, however, make a commencement. Those men who have been appointed to act in this manner have expressed their willingness to carry on the work, but their means for that purpose are limited. What shall we, the body of the people, do? Shall we not support them and show our faith by our works? If we would live up to the laws of God, we would have sufficient means to meet every exigency. Let every man then pay his tithing according to the law. The Lord says tithing is a law unto his people, and to his priesthood forever. How can we fulfill that law? Can we do it by paying less than the required portion? We certainly cannot. Less than a tenth is not a tithing. Suppose an applicant for baptism were to insist that only a portion of his body be immersed, and claim that that was a sufficient baptism. We would think him insane. So with tithing, you cannot partially perform an ordinance. It must be perfect, or it is of no force so far as the fulfillment of the law is concerned. You cannot fulfill the law of tithing in part only. It can only be done as a whole. Its payment is a great privilege, and should be done because we have agreed to do it. If we do not, we are not in an honorable position. I have never considered a man who holds the priesthood to be a saint of any moment unless he complies with this plain ordinance. Shall we go hence, and for future live up to this law? Let us do it, and let the cause of our action be because it is right, because the Lord requires it at our hands, and because it is sustaining and forwarding the work of God. Regarding the outcome of this work, I have more faith in that than I have in the present condition of affairs. The victory will be wrought out by the power of the Almighty, and in no other way. May God help us to place our feet on the rock of ages, there to abide firmly, and come what will, say, "Here we stand," or "Here we fall."